Welcome everyone to the L7C podcast, My Hero Academia edition. Today we have a reaction, breaking news, special My Hero episode for you guys today. And this one was called on by the My Hero enthusiast, Andrea Alanis. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I am doing well. I am doing well. This was the first time where other people on the podcast have called for like emergency podcasts when things have happened in their respective thing that they talk about. This is the first time where you were the one reaching out saying, "Hey, can we do an episode on this episode, Dabi's Dance?" And I was just like, "Sure." At that point, when you said that, I hadn't watched the episode yet. So then once
Oh,
I actually,
really? You hadn't? Okay.
I mean, I gotta watch everything else for everyone else's stuff.
That's true.
So it was on the rotating thing, and then when I finally watched it, and I was just like,
Yep.
all right. I had a feeling because it was trending all day on all social media sites, and then time you type in Dabi's name, now it pops up on the browsers of Google and all that. So yeah, we're gonna get into this. We are gonna do like just quick things about this episode before we get into the main thing of this episode. So this episode was episode total 124th episode of My Hero Academia. This episode was adapted by the chapter 290 of the manga, and it just came out this past Saturday. And just a little quick hitter things. Blue Genius is back.
That was such a great freaking moment. Oh my God. Okay, so I didn't know ahead of time. Like it was spoiled for me that he was still alive and, he came back. I didn't realize that he was going to pop up the same time as oh, and also while I was watching the actual episode, because it starts with him, popping up and you're like, oh my God, yes, he's back. But like he's in some sort of airship. So it's like he's, on the way. And then with everything else that happened in the episode, I was like, oh my God, is he not going to show up this episode? Is this where we're going to leave this episode? And then boom, right before end credits, Blue Genius is on the scene right after during, Dabi's little reveal video. He spliced in there real quick footage of Hawks. And I will say that's one of my like personal gripes about Dabi's video is because I mean, most everything else, he's talking from his own experience, hitting the nail on the head, and then he throws in there, manipulates the narrative around Hawks killing twice. And so, since it's sandwiched in there with basically what hopefully will eventually be confirmed as true, because we know it's true. We as the audience know it's true from Todoroki's flashbacks, from shit for brains Todoroki's NG Todoroki's flashbacks to when he was an asshole, quote unquote, when he was. But like, so we all know it's true. So when hopefully he cops to it eventually, people are going to doubt Hawks's involvement in that killing and all that good stuff because it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe any of that video as we see some people's reactions to it. But damn, there was just so much going on all at the same time, and it's such a great episode.
So I was seeing the differences between the manga and the anime, which I feel like the anime ruined some of the stuff from the manga. So like
Really?
Blue Genius wasn't shown in that plane in the manga. He was shown at the
Oh,
very last part. So you didn't even know, you can't hear his voice. You're reading like someone say the same stuff he did.
oh shit. So that was even a oh
So you get an even bigger surprise.
yes.
Um,
Yeah. Okay.
and then for Yumi, she they don't show her seeing Dabi's video.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just I don't know what the hell she is.
She's
She is
it looks
doing
like it kind of looks like if you remember 9/11 that the TV was just on and the teachers were all like watching along with us. That's kind of what that scene reminded me of since she is like an elementary school teacher. But
so
that's
that
that's good to know because I didn't know that. I've still never read the manga, so I
and
didn't know that and I didn't
also
see that anywhere on the internet.
and besides like the Blue Genius thing, I guess one of the biggest things is that when that video is going on, they don't show this. The nurses actually rush into Shoto's mom's thing.
Good. Oh my God, good. I was wondering about that because like they show his mom just kind of watching the screen and it's like she's literally in this essentially mental hospital because of the psychotic break that she suffered due to the abuse in that house. But the only thing we really hear about her is again shit for brains and G Todoroki's internal dialogue talking about like, oh, Ray wanted more siblings so they could support each other. And I'm like,
also,
bitch, what?
As soon as she saw Dabi,
mm-hmm.
she knew that was who we're going to talk about.
Right.
She's never seen him before. Like, never before
right.
So, like, as soon as she, like, turned on the TV, like, she instantly, mother's intuition, you could say, but she instantly knew while all the others had to wait. So, just going, another quick things, they're all still fighting for their lives. It's still super bad. Like,
oh, yeah.
Midoriya was smacking around, and Midoriya was smacking around Shigaraki, and Midoriya is down bad. Shigaraki's holding on, which is bad. Ida came, doesn't really matter. No disrespect. Bakugo's literally, they said he was hitting his internal organs. That's not good.
Right, but he's like, bitch, I'm going to stand here and fight. And it's like, oh, okay. So I guess those weren't fatal hits, which honestly feels to me a little bit like plot armor. Because like if All For One is just like stabbing you with one of his random quirks through the center of your body, how does he not pierce your heart and how does he not pierce your lung? Like,
yeah, that's terrible. What else? I did quick things too. I did like before the whole thing. I did like seeing a big three member actually fighting with Shoto.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Nejire cool. Pulling up. Yes. I loved that.
And then subside too, you had they've really, I guess you can say they found a kin kind of to each other with Uraraka and whatchamacallit. What is her name? Toga, yeah, because
they have a kin. I'm sorry. Everything else kind of eclipsed that part of the episode for me. It was very important. But like I also when I saw that matchup happen, I was like, ooh, this is not going to turn out well. Like this if they fight one-on-one, this is not going to turn out well.
Well, Uraraka, she held her own. She did some new things. Froppy saved her, and they had their their girl thing. So whatever with that. Big thing that's wrecked 3/4 of every hero on planet Japan over there. He is there now, so it just made things worse. Mm-hmm. The last thing I want to get to Blue Genius is the way they had him on that freaking ship, but not ship, jet or whatever. Made it seem like he's the secret weapon, which I get, number 3 hero. But I also have a problem with the power scaling. He is like the number 3 hero. But you're telling me this one dude can hold all of those people when we have like 100+ heroes and Mount Lady couldn't hold on to little Giga Man over there?
Right.
He just showed up and he did it.
My thing was like, it wasn't necessarily, I guess like it could be seen as a power scaling problem. I didn't think of it that way. I thought it was odd.
I didn't know he was that much stronger than everyone else there because he's doing that alone.
I don't think he is though. I think what happened or the way I, rationalized it in my head was that, he controls fibers. I don't know if they specifically said denim or like just fibers in general, but they brought like special ginormous fucking something. They didn't really say what it was. And he was controlling that to like wrap them all up, constrain them. So I'm guessing it's some sort of special fiber that either normally he doesn't have access to, maybe nobody really has access to it, and it was specifically brought out for this reason.
I guess I'm going to give him the benefit of doubt that it's his normal stuff, because the last time he fought, it was against All For One, and All For One put a hole in his chest, but that's All For One.
That's true.
Like, just think about how he showed up and like the amount of control. He grabbed everyone. Like the giant thing's a big thing in itself. But he saved Endeavor, Midoriya. They were going to die because he was going to do Flash Fist, Prominence Burn, which you saw what he did to freaking Shigaraki, and they're not.
Right, and this is blue flame, not even normal, right.
And he was able to grab him, and his stuff didn't burn. So I'm like, so we're just deciding, once the big monster got to the city, we're just going to drop Blue Genius off. Maybe we should have dropped him off a little earlier, because once this is all done, and we see the amount of casualties the heroes
Right.
took.
Not even just the heroes, the civilians though, because I mean
Oh yeah,
they kind of hint at it with with Gigantoman like running through these cities, just
yeah,
the most direct path possible. He's mowing down apartment buildings, offices, hospitals, no regard for anything, which is, his mindset. So whatever. But I mean, you see little flashes of scenes where like you can potentially see that like rubble has crushed somebody, or like people are like crying and weeping that somebody's down. So like the amount of civilian casualties is going to be extremely high, and it doesn't matter how many people the hero saved or how many heroes got killed. All they're going to care about is the number of people that still died, despite the preemptive nature that they had, some forethought, pre-planning. I agree that, when Tsukuichi was like, oh, he needs his master's command to move, so he's not important. How stupid. Like, come on. You always expect the unexpected. And even if that's true, even if he never became a problem, why not just fucking restrain him to start?
yeah. Because at
Why
this
not
point,
throw Blue Genius in there to restrain his ass if he really was the go-to restrainer? Like,
yeah, because
why?
at this point, it's not even them like winning per se. It's we know that most of these, well, the people who are at the main fight are going to survive, but now, so I guess when Shigaraki and them eventually retreat, but it's like going to be at what cost?
Well, right. That's the thing, is like, as much as, because during this episode, All for One is literally telling him, like, you need to fucking leave. You need to fucking
Mm-hmm.
retreat. And Shigaraki's being a stubborn brat again. And like,
Yeah, he said he
nah,
doesn't want
fam,
to.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna get him right here. And he's
Yeah,
basically a burnt off husk. Like, dude, you are inches from death. What do you mean you're not gonna run?
no,
But
he
in my
doesn't
head,
want
when I
to.
was watching that, I was like, number one, thank God they got him to a point where they have to run, because these heroes need to regroup. And it's terrible because this whole plan was to prevent, basically, the whole idea was make this preemptive move, stop the whole war before it can officially start.
Yep,
And basically,
and
what they did is they poked the bear. Technically, they got Shigaraki before he was at peak form, which is great. But if he retreats, he's got time to potentially become peak form, which is even more of a problem.
yeah, and also they're just going to break the doctor out of jail, or I don't even think he's going to get
The
to
doctor
jail.
needs to be dead. Why the fuck? I stand by my stance that Dr. Eggman wannabe needs to be dead. Like, why, President Mike,
I,
why are you dragging his ass around everywhere, letting him live, talking mad shit in your face? Just leave him to die. Like, he would end up getting crushed by rubble, stepped on, something by his own making. Because all of this is not his fault directly, but he's basically, second in command.
um, yeah, he is second in command, and well before. Well, I guess I'll throw this tidbit out too, that he is actually the one who found Dabi.
You think so?
No, I know so.
Oh,
I was
okay. I didn't know that.
yeah.
I did not know that.
After this up, like I had to because I read like that chapter and then
Mm.
just that specific one, and then like this, and then like seeing the stuff. But so he's the one who got him. Doesn't say how. I stopped after the stuff, but let's just get right into it. So a lot of people, Andrew, are literally calling this potentially the best My Hero episode ever in the 124 things. I mean, this one, I really thought the Hawks episode was the best one of season 6.
Hmm.
Now it's this one. Obviously, you have stuff from like season 4 with like Lemillion and Midoriya versus Overhaul. You had stuff with All Might and All for One, like those type of episodes. The 3 verse Stain, but like this one right
Hmm.
now, literally breaking the internet, and people are deeming it the best episode of My Hero. Do you think it's the best episode that they've ever?
I definitely put it among the best, 100%. I very much have difficulty deciding what my favorite anything is, what the best anything is. Like you know me.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that's listened to most of my podcasts or me being on podcast knows I can't fucking decide anything. But while I was watching it, all I could keep thinking to myself is, this is peak anime. This is peak storytelling. This is this is the pinnacle of where, I mean, because a lot of us had already gotten it spoiled that, he was who we thought he was.
But not,
However,
I
for
didn't
some
know,
people that
we
are
did not know it was going to be like that,
right,
though.
right, that's true too. But like at the same time, like I don't know if I would put it like above the Midoriya overhaul fight. I don't know. I wonder if it's because of the gravity of the reveal. It was extremely well done. I'm not taking away from that at all. But I wonder if part of it is just the enormity of that reveal that puts it that puts makes people want to say it is the absolute best episode. Like that's
Yeah.
my hesitation for agreeing that it's the best one, in addition to my, tendency to not pick a favorite.
Yeah, because when I watched it, I was just quiet. Like once it got to the part which we've been teasing forever. So Andrew, go ahead and tell what happened when once Dabi entered the battlefield.
Once Dabi entered the battlefield, oh my God, when he dumped that bucket of water on his hair and was like, I expected my family to recognize me. Holy shit. Oh my God. And then he brought up the best fucking point about like, and ever, bruh, it's not like fireworks are a dime a dozen. Like, what? Hello.
Even before that, just for everyone to know, one, he had one little dude hack every TV in Japan.
Yes.
So at
Yes.
first I was just like, oh my gosh. And then he sat there, he said his first he started off like he's like, sorry to interrupt your broadcast. And he was sitting there. It was pre-recorded, so this has been recorded. We don't know when, but it was pre-recorded.
I
And
wonder if it was before he even joined the league. That's my.
he's had this. I guess
This
we
is
would
long
we would
game.
know
He
when
is
it was
long game for sure.
we would know when it's actually recorded because the paternity test he used Endeavor's blood from a certain battle.
Oh, that's right.
I forgot the battle that he said was from whenever that battle.
It
that
had
he
to have been the
used.
one where he fought the Nomu.
Yeah.
Because that's where
so end of season 4.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there. He's like, my name's Dami. I'm in the league. Probably already know that. I've killed 30
I've killed 30 innocent people.
I was like,
Oh.
I was like, okay, innocent people.
And he
And
said innocent. I'm guessing there's additional people that he's killed that he wouldn't deem innocent.
Oh yeah.
And I do wonder, like, who are the like, not specifically who is in like, oh, maybe they're super important, but I do wonder who are these innocent people? Like, was it he started a fire and he killed him? Was it like he was on assignment for the league and he killed him? Like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. But I'm curious for him to especially like emphasize that they were innocent people that he killed.
I think it's more to discredit like their family because you got some dude just killing innocent people. But then he's like, oh, I also have another name. I have a cool other name. My name is Toya.
Toya. Todoroki.
And then everyone's just like,
fuck.
And then it goes right to what you were just saying about like, I didn't think my family couldn't even recognize me. Then when he did the hair thing, like you said,
did the hair is white.
I was literally just sitting here like this. I was like, this is bad. This is, oh boy.
Shoto's shooketh to the nth degree.
Mm-hmm.
Endeavors, again, he's shit for brains. Todoroki for me this episode is standing there dumbfounded with the most idiotic look on his face. Like, that's not possible. Which, again, I know he vehemently believed that Toya was dead. Everybody believed Toya was dead.
Mm-hmm.
100%. But for him to be like, no, like we found a piece of a jawbone. Bruh. Flames.
I will say because I'm going to give him some credit because when you have the doctor involved, everything's possible.
That's true.
Like they could have planted a fake, like everything is. I mean, we're talking about the same All Might who didn't know, like all those years, he didn't know that Shigaraki was the grandson. Like there's some stuff in here that's just like.
I guess maybe I just hate him too much that I'm just adding more shit on top of it. That's fine. And I'm personally okay with it. Anybody who is very, pro Endeavor, like redemption arc, good for you. I am not on that train.
Yeah, but
sorry.
He starts going, like and I think the music, the voice actor, the choreography of his moves.
Yes.
And like when he's starting to have fun, and I'm just sitting here, I was like, is this really happening?
And he's reveling in it. And my thing though was like, I didn't my personal thing after like watching the whole episode, after seeing everybody's reactions to the video, like I really wish, especially because during his speech, he references how like his close relationship with Natsuo
Mhm.
and telling Endeavor, like, you don't know, like, you never saw that I would cling to him and cry at night or whatever. And I'm like, yo, and you're going to tell him that you're alive at the same time as everybody else.
Yeah.
You obviously cared about your mom, cared about your sister. I can't really for sure say Shoto because he did say that he considered killing him, which, okay, like the jealousy, the rage, the whatever. But I feel like at the very least, he should have made a separate video or a previous announcement, maybe even a 5 minute delay to his mom, to Fuyumi, and to Natsuo. Like, to tell them and prepare them for the video that he was about to put out there. Because at the same time that they're grappling with the fact that their dead son or brother is actually alive, they also find out that he's killed innocent people. He's joined the League of Villains and he's attempting to discredit the entire hero system. Because, as all of them know, the number two, previously number two, now number one hero is an actual piece of shit as a real person. So,
Yeah. So he talks about how he was the oldest, yada yada, him and his dad training, and then obviously like having the siblings so that he can have someone who can surpass him and All Might and become the new number one hero. And then when he got to Shoto, he even talked about Endeavor laying hands on his wife
mm-hmm,
during that. So like all that stuff, and see that one would just discredit Endeavor. The
mm-hmm.
one that I really sat up is when he was talking about, oh, your heroes. Well, the number two hero just killed him. So how do you feel about that?
As
And
he
I was
was
like,
running
oh
away, as
my
like because he was
gosh.
trying to save his friends and running away, and I was like,
Yeah.
wait it. I was 100% on board with you. Like, let Endeavor burn. Like, let no pun intended, but let Endeavor burn at the stake that he's created for himself. Like, 100%.
Yeah.
But
But
then the way he twisted the narrative for Hawk's killing twice, like as much as like a lot of us were emotionally impacted by Twice's death because he was a likable character. He was an easy character to root for, even though he was on, the wrong side. It wasn't fair. Also, just at the very end, the techno guy being like, "Yeah, the editing was a little shoddy, but at least you got it in there." It's like,
yeah, he got out. And that's why on the last episode, I made such a big deal about like Hawks killing him and like
mm-hmm.
saying that it's him because the public doesn't like that's the first time any heroes public talked about killing anyone. So now you see your number two hero because, like he said, it's out there now. Now it's up to them to counter, but you've already changed people's minds.
Well,
You're
right,
out
and
there
it and
killing somebody. So
mm-hmm.
who's the real hero and villains? Like he he's almost systematically in that one video just broke the entire hero system.
Yeah, what was left of it?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which there's two things on that actually. Well, if you're listening to this on Spotify and all this stuff, make sure you look for these other links. But if you're listening to it on YouTube, I'll have the links on this video because May 6th, 2021, that was the complicated family dynamic of the Todorokis.
Oh yes, the case study, the very first case study,
The
if I
very
remember
first one.
correctly.
Yep. And questions we were like asked is if you're a news reporter and you found out about an Endeavor's past, would you tell the press? What would that do to the Hero Society where it's been shambles? So kind of Dabi did what we talked about could happen if all this stuff comes out, which that happened. And then also to another case study we did that everything truly has gone to shit since All Might retired.
Right. No,
So like
100%.
so it's
Right.
like none of this stuff would ever come out if All Might was still like active.
I will say, side note, like that I realized watching it is we didn't get All Might's reaction to the video. Like
No, we didn't.
I I feel like All Might is gonna try to understand and be empathetic. But at the same time, like for me, I'm gonna be very disappointed if All Might doesn't call Endeavor out on that shit. Cause like there's no excuse for that. There's no and for me, I found it physically like repulsive during Endeavor's internal dialogue, hearing Dabi's story, like again making that comment to, well, Ray wanted, siblings so they could support each other, and I'm like, that's the biggest flip in the script I've ever heard. I want to hear more of Ray's thoughts during that video. I also want to hear more about her thoughts internally, because the only what have we actually heard from her mouth directly? Telling Shoto that he can be any type of hero that he wants to be, which is great. But then we also get the scene where she throws the hot water on Shoto's face. Mm-hmm. Do we hear much other audio from her? Does her voice actress get anything else? Oh, and the line about that Endeavor's trying because he puts her favorite flower in her room. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what All Might's gonna do, because it's not his fault, but in theory, his master is the whole reason this world's gone to shit.
Right. And so for me, it is definitely not an All Might's fault. 100%.
But he would put it on himself somehow, though.
Huh?
He would find a way to put it on himself.
Oh, 100%. He's that type of person. My thought is, even before all of this came out, though, in a flashback when Midoriya was training with Uraraka, I think Froppy and Sero to try to control Black Whip so he can get used to using Float before he gets Float, all that good stuff. All Might has that one-on-one kind of side conversation with Bakugo, letting Bakugo know, like, yeah, you and Midoriya need to have another conversation. And internally, he's like, I probably should have had that conversation with Endeavor, or that type of conversation with Endeavor sooner. Yeah. And I think that's true. I think that could have been helpful. But again, it is not All Might's fault. Honestly, with Endeavor's headspace where it was, or at least from what we were shown, he probably would have brushed it off as an F you, All Might, you condescending, power tripping, whatever.
Yeah.
And just blown him off.
I don't know, because like now, because we're talking about like speculation, because now if we're opening up these can of worms, like Shigaraki can make a video saying the reason I am is because All Might's master abandoned me. So I'm not saying pick what your worst is on the wheel, child abuse or child abandonment, like.
Well, abuse and neglect, because I mean, it's the same.
It's the same thing. So I mean, like, domestic violence or literally just abandonment. Pick whatever your worst one is. Take your
poison.
Yeah, because like, and at least Endeavor's make like it was shown and all that stuff when he saw her. She never tried to make amends, like after she left. So it's like, if she would have made amends, with Shigaraki would have been good. Would All For One not have been able to get him? Do we have this whole thing? Because like you said, like when the opening came out, like Midoriya and Shigaraki like having the same shoes. You were like
having the same shoes, the mirror, like one of them's in the dark, one of them's in the light. The other thing to go, like, even with all of this hypothetical, even with the child abuse that was experienced, the domestic violence that was witnessed, with the abandonment and neglect, people have a choice on how they react and how they choose to go on about their lives. So even if everything would have still happened the way it did, it's helpful to have outside forces push you towards the better path, whereas Shigaraki had somebody literally basically snatch him and take him into the dark, dunk him in it nice and deep. Dabi, Toya, it seems like had a little bit more of a distinctive choice. I don't know how the doctor found him. Maybe the doctor brainwashed him as well.
Well, he was trying to burn the whole place down because he was sick and tired of Shoto getting like all the attention, and then he overheated. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's how that whole place burned down, and then Endeavor tried to look for him, couldn't find him. Also, again, it just makes this episode so better because while he's telling this, people get to see cute little Toya.
Yeah.
And then
The
everyone's just
sweet
like,
little
"Oh my
kid.
god, yeah, sweet." And then to see what happened after that, and like he was yeah, when he just went crazy because now he's opened up a whole can of we can use the media for our
Mm-hmm. Further
like
our goals, which in the 21st century, or well, are they still in the 21st century?
I would assume, yeah.
Anyway, I know they're slightly in the future. I don't think that far, but anyway, it's still a media.
Mm-hmm.
I think somebody made the comment, I don't remember who, but they basically said it's out there. They've made a statement. It doesn't matter what the follow up statement is. That first one is now out there. Like,
Yep, that's the point. Yep.
yeah, they got it out there first. So they get to control it. And
Yep.
that's, I mean,
So just think of it from this standpoint now. This is out there. So you have your number one, number two hero discredited.
mm-hmm.
One, which is again, pick your thing. One's a child
Oh, and they all
abuser.
think that the number three hero is dead because Dabi also mentioned in the video
That
that
number
to
two
get into
killed
the
number
league,
three.
to
Yep.
be a spy, Hawks had to kill Blue Genist.
Yeah, and they won't know he's alive until after
Exactly.
this. So,
Exactly.
but they'll know if well, twice. I mean, twice is dead. But
Right.
so number one now has been revealed
To
as
be a
like
shithead.
abuser, but then some people are like, well, just from like thinking, some people are like, oh, at least those people are still alive. Number two's a murderer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's now we're going to be talking about should number two get locked up,
Mm-hmm.
and then also whoever the powers to be, because it's Dabi still didn't explain how he knew Hawks' real name, so he can
No,
have
but that's the other thing where I'm like, holy shit. He gets access. He's able to figure out Hawks' lineage. That's the
yeah.
other big reveal in here. We got some information about Hawks' lineage,
Mm-hmm.
has Hawks' real name, but it, but
Which he can
somehow,
expose that company too, and then that could be a whole other thing.
yeah,
Because I feel like that's a company that's not a public like a public thing. So
right.
that's bad. So those things are happening. There's a lot of people who are dead, so that's
Mm-hmm.
happening. Midoriya is leaving, so that's happening. So at the end of this, it's just going to be a whole pile of crap.
Yep. I mean,
The
what?
doctor's still going to be alive, which means he's going to. Shigaraki's only at 75. They're going to retreat. The heroes are going to get lazy. Be like, oh, we'll beat him next time. If you struggled against a 75% Shigaraki and he
Well,
comes
that's the
back
other
four
thing.
months
My
from
my
now,
my biggest thing with all of that is he's 75% and he laid waste to an entire city and some
yeah, and he's going to
with
be
one
100
move.
next time you see
He could
him.
just decide one morning to just be like, nah, today's the day, fuck you. Like they don't Shigaraki again is acting like a brat again. So he literally could just decide to set off his decay whenever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, so
And nobody can do anything about it. Eraserhead's lost a leg, so his mobility is diminished.
yeah, that man's been on death's door all season. Literally, he's been on death's. He's been saved or literally every time he's about to die.
Also, can we talk about how the fuck he's able to cut his leg off so easily with a knife? Like,
Strong knife. I'm just
no.
unless it's sword quality. I'm just
Okay,
saying.
I'm sure. Well, we'll let it go. Just like his floating fucking neck scarf. Like that doesn't make any sense either, but whatever.
I'm
We'll let
just
him have it because he's cool and I love him.
saying, but it's rough here now
It's rough
because
to be a hero right now, like
yeah, it's
100%.
rough to be anyone but Dom because now, I mean, I'll be very interested to see how they do it in the English dub when
Mm-hmm.
that comes out. But I just can't believe he was going to kill him too with Providenceburg. He was going to
Yeah,
kill
he was.
everyone there,
I
and he
was
didn't
very
care if he died either.
no. This for Dabi, I mean, he didn't really care if it was a suicide mission. I was actually very proud of Shoto being willing to stand his ground and move against his brother, even with the tears in his eyes. That broke my heart watching that.
Well, they fight in the next episode. We'll see how long. And then I forgot to mention how bad it is because you have Giga Monster over here, and then you
Mm-hmm.
still have all the super high end Nomus just
Yeah, all
killing
the
all
high
the.
end nomus that we haven't been watching because
Oh, they're
like they're
killing
not
all the
even that
no
important
names.
compared to everything else going on. But it's like holy shit, these high end nomus are probably killing people left and right.
Oh yeah, they're killing every single person right now. So that's it's bad. But this episode did truly deliver. And then also it was announced that there's only after that episode, there's only three
Two
more
more?
episodes.
Yeah.
Three more.
Oh, three
So
more. Okay.
yeah, it says 3 episodes left until the end of the first part of part 6. So unless Dabi's counted as the part of the 3, then there's only 2 more. So there's only 2 more. It'd be the 19th. No, it'd be the 18th. What is this? No,
Today's the 14th.
Yeah, so it'd be this Saturday and then Christmas Eve, which Andrea, I think someone's probably going to be dead on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, great.
But
I'm just gonna go ahead and not watch that episode. Then I'm gonna rewatch the Christmas episode from season 5.
Yeah, so long ago.
Let's go back to season 5 when everybody had their own personalized Santa hats and Ari got all the holidays confused, like the adorable little munchkin that she is.
Yeah, I don't know why Midoriya was trying to stand up in the preview. He can't do shit. Like he's down. He's done too.
He is down and out for the count, and I don't think he had that moment where he was like the flashback to being told that he can't, use his arms like that, or he's never going to be, have full function of his arm ever again. And he just fucking went for it. Again, I get the feeling that plot armor is going to make it so that he can still use his arm, but that was reckless. That was reckless as hell.
Yeah. So more people are going to die because Blue Genius is really not, you see in the previews that he's bleeding because he's using all the strength to hold everyone. Obviously, he probably lets go of Dabi and tells Shoto to fight him because he has to use everything on little monster over there.
And that's fine. Honestly, if he can take care of Big Bro in the corner, that's more than enough. Man, please just put this monster down. If that anesthetic was going to start kicking in, it should start kicking in soon.
I don't think
that's going to reopen a whole nother wound for me about why the fuck would you all throw your canisters at the same goddamn time? Ugh. I
don't think that canister is going to work. I think finally Sugar Rise is going to be I could literally just get healed and come back another day. I don't have to do this. Let's retreat. And then they just run off with their monster and the doctor and the whole league.
Oh, but before that, the other thing that got me, because again, I've never read the manga. I do know that Compress has a handsome ass face, Mr. Compress. But what was his comment about that you have an interesting family or heritage too?
Yeah, so he's related to someone.
Who is he related to? What?
It'd have to be someone of. It has to be someone
noteworthy, and that's why I'm just so wait, what? We've never seen anybody with this type of quirk. Maybe it's going to be one of the other top 10 heroes. Maybe it's another hero that was super big in the past that we've never heard of. But what?
Yeah,
that was another the actual moment hasn't come yet, but that was another little nugget that I was not expecting at all.
Yeah, unless that would be
plot twist. He and Shigaraki are related.
Nah, he's gonna be related to.
Is he gonna be related to Overhaul?
That'd be kind of messed up seeing your own people get smoked, but I feel like.
And he took his arm.
He's gonna be related to someone. I don't know who, but it has to be. It's either he's related to someone who's alive now, or he's the last of this dynasty legendary dynasty. If he says something "Oh, well, I'm the last," I'm the
Airbender.
last direct descendant of the first person who had a quirk.
Oh, the light baby.
Yeah. I'm the last direct.
Well, then does that make him related to? Well, this theory hasn't been confirmed, but it has been postulated that Higakure is related to the light baby because she also has a light related quirk.
Actually.
Also, have we seen her? Okay, that wasn't a pun, but have we?
No,
was she with the students that tried to?
No.
Okay, so she's missing. Shinso's missing.
Well, it's too late for this shit. The shit ends in 2 episodes, and no one's coming.
Monama's missing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people missing. There's a whole war going on, and that other school didn't get called because now
That's bullshit. That is such bullshit. Miss Joke was involved. She should have pulled their asses out too.
Well, she only called one. So, because this is at this point now, if you weren't in these episodes, you're not. The only thing I could see any of those people being at the last episode of this first part is like epilogue stuff.
Mm.
Like they show one big thing of like all of Class 1A and Class 1B asking where's Midoriya and why is he leaving, yada yada, because they weren't listening. So
yeah,
because that's the other thing, because he's going to tell his whole class why he's chasing Adam. That's all other. That's going to tell. That's a whole other thing. Who didn't listen, but no, it's bad out, and there's a couple more episodes until this is until season 6 part 1 is done, because season 6 in total is 25 episodes. So we're getting a lot, and people don't realize that. I mean, we're chugging along on this show, depending on what they do, because there's only like one like real big arc left. Everything else is like in like they're all into the same like the final battle arc or whatever the hell it's called.
And that hasn't even been finished.
No, not yet.
Written yet.
They're close. They're like in the end game-ish, but not like we're not having the final battle with Shigaraki and like Midoriya. Which, you know, what's funny too. As strong as he is, can you imagine if like all these why these quirks didn't activate for All Might or anyone else?
Yes. And I think I referenced that slightly in a previous episode. I cannot for the life of me remember when, but I was wondering because there has to be something about the 9th user. There has to be something about the number 9. It also mirrors the fact that, you know, the villain from the Heroes Rising movie had 9 quirks and his codename was 9. I think there's something about the number 9.
Maybe it's the it could be just like the author's favorite number. So he wanted to. It's it could be one of those things.
Oh, for sure. But I also wonder if there's just some sort of mathematical significance that the amplification, once it hits 9, becomes very unstable and untenable, and it shouldn't go past that. Or I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there, seeing if it sticks.
But he's getting all these because, like I've said a long time, he's the last one.
Yeah. Well, of course, that's part of the story. But
I mean,
I also wonder about
if he survives.
Well, that too. Regardless, I am very curious about a couple of those users because, again, in that side conversation with Bakugo mentioned something about, was it the 7th user, the 6th? So it was one of the users, the previous users that there was very little information on, and All Might was like, "I'm worried about him just like you are, so like, I'm not sharing this information yet." And it's like, wait, what? Like, why? And then when Midoriya was in that, I forget what realm they were calling it, but I'll basically just call it the spirit realm.
It's basically their internal, like the My Hero internal plane place.
Yes, thank you. Internal plane. That's a better word. So, like the internal plane, the first time he's there, he can see most of the users, but 2 of them specifically were completely blacked out. So, like, I'm very curious about those 2. Are we going to learn about that? Or are we just not going to ever have that answered?
I think we will. I think they're going to do it in like chunks and whatnot, because each time he's going to learn something new, they'll get their own like side story.
That's fair, but like there's not much time left. That's where I'm so confused about. Like,
I mean, there's going to be, they can do it in the next arc, like these next part 2, because this war's over in this like thing, and then the next 12 episodes they can do it. Then that's 12 episodes, because it's going to be focused on him leaving. So he's going to be by himself for like half a season.
It just makes me really sad to know that this whole show is going to end without us getting to follow them through graduation. Who's really going to become the big 3 when they're seniors? If they even become seniors, who's like when they actually become heroes? If they become heroes, like professional heroes, because technically right now they only have their provisional licenses. So
no, this will end in their first year, and then we may get an epilogue. Their second?
Wait, are they still in their first year? Or they're about to start their second.
They would have to be in their first year because the big 3 would have graduated.
That's true.
Yeah, this is, and I did see like a piece at the manga where the author like drew a picture of like the big three, like potentially like at a graduation, what it would look like.
Oh,
But yeah, we're gonna get their first year, then we're gonna get an epilogue, if that.
if that's a big fat if.
Um,
Damn.
it's rough, but this is
I'm not
almost
emotionally
ending.
ready for this to be over. Honest to God, like I'm not.
I mean, it's only a break, and then it'll come back next year. I don't
No,
know
no, no. I
what.
mean the entire series.
Oh,
Like,
we still have some time on that.
well, okay, but like at the same time, not throwing in Demon Slayer again during this podcast, but like Demon Slayer is almost done too. Like I am not emotionally ready to have to try to fill that anime void in
Yeah,
my life when the both of them finish.
but when they put that in, yeah, but that was a shorter Demon Slayer. In all honesty, if you are dedicated, you can read the whole series in a weekend.
That sounds like a challenge, and I want to read it in a
It's
day.
not, if I don't remember, it's not even like 300. It's like, I know it's not under, it's under 500 chapters.
Mm.
I know it is. It's like super low, lowest of one of the big things. But just think about it. Here's Demon Slayer's entering season 3. My hero, this is season freaking 6. This is going for like 6 years.
Yeah.
Think like you got to think like most like six seasons. It's gonna get season 7, and then
Right.
depending on how long they stretch it out, whatever, season 8, they're gonna potentially get another movie. There's not that many animes right now. 6 seasons and 3 movies.
It's true.
I mean, they've been, and then now they're getting a Netflix live action adaptation because it's been
Oh,
so
that's right.
so
That's right.
successful. I mean, this season really,
That is not going to go well. I'm so sorry. I just
nah, it won't. But hey, to hear what it is, but I understand what you're saying though. But there'll be things to fill depending on how these people work over there and scheduling and all that stuff. Since Demon Slayer is coming back in April, so
April. Yeah.
April. And they're showing a 1 hour thing in movie theaters if you want to see it in March. Don't
Yes.
know if us normal people get those movie theaters or if it's just the Hollywood people, but we'll
Most
see.
likely. But we can
But
still hope and dream.
oh yeah, 100%. Andrew, anything else on what the community's calling one of the best episodes of all time? Of definitely of anime season and of My Hero Academia season 6.
I would say that for this anime like season, I haven't been watching too closely, I will admit, to some other series. But for me, I would feel confident in voting this the best episode of this anime season. Like for just the shows that are out now, the moments that I've seen, I would feel
Mm.
very confident saying that for this episode. And it definitely is for me at least the top
It's
10, maybe even top 5 episodes of My Hero ever.
agreed on the My Hero thing, but this, yeah, it's in fact from the shows I've been watching this season. I mean, there's an OG big three named Kurosaki Ichigo who would have something to say about
That's valid. I do
Pet.
for reference, everybody, I do not watch Bleach. I have not watched Bleach. I know I need to get into it eventually. Maybe that's how I'll fill my emotional anime void is I'll finally
Because
watch
they
Bleach.
they are killing it right now. I mean, there's a reason they've been number one so far for the past
I
couple
think I
weeks.
haven't been paying attention to the standings.
I mean, it's like it's literally fluid, fluctuates by the week. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure Dabi's dance is gonna push My Hero somewhere. Like then you have an anime we've never heard of in there, and then you'll have like Chainsaw Hopping. Like this
Mm-hmm.
season's just been wild, and then this year's gonna be over, and then we have Demon Slayer to look forward to. We have Jujutsu Kaisen to look forward to for the people
We
who
have
watch it,
Tokyo Revengers to look forward to.
which is on Disney Plus, which means I get Disney's trying to. I don't know if I was Disney, I don't think that'd be the anime I would spend X amount of
Yeah,
millions
no,
on.
no, 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 no. The 12-year-olds with no supervision killing people. Yeah, no.
But
They should
they
have grabbed Spy Family. Honest to God, that would have been more wholesome.
but they picked that, so whatever. And then you have the 10th season series ending of Attack on Titan.
Yes, yes.
So there's a lot of stuff coming out. So we'll just have to wait and see. Anything else, Andrea?
Um, no, I don't think so. Thank you for tuning in for our special episode. Kind of right before we're gonna record our normal reaction videos. We appreciate your support. Interact with us. Let us know if you think we're full of hot air or if you agree with us. And I think that's it.
Yeah, I have nothing else to add to that, but the next time you probably hear from us will be when this is over. When part one of season
Oh, you
six
think
is
so?
over.
How many
Yeah.
episodes has it been so far? Wouldn't this be
Well,
number three?
the timing wise, because since we're doing this, and then
That's
it would
true.
make no sense to just do those episodes because then we would only have to be able to talk about like one episode. So we might as well just
That's true.
because I
That's
mean,
true.
so yeah. So we'll be back to then review the ending of season six, part one, which is wild. But with that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. Make sure you listen to those case study ones because now if you listen to the All Might and the Endeavor one, then listen to this all in a row, putting pieces
Is it
together.
gonna I kind of forgot about the All Might one. Yeah, that's right. That's another good one to listen to
Was
after watching this episode. Or
yeah,
yeah.
was All Might being a symbol of peace actually detrimental to the Hero Society? And
Yes,
it's
that's right.
looking like it is.
Sorry. Sorry to rain on the parade, guys.
Yeah. So with that being said, this is the L7C podcast signing out. Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.